But fortunately, we already have 2 goals. I love goal line technology. I don't think that's necessary there. It was clearly a pass. Unless it wasn't. If that was an attempt at a shot, wasn't great. Good job, Elliot. He's already scored. Otherwise, I'll be slating him there. How's it going, everyone? My name is Stu. Welcome to my Football Manager 2024 save here with Deportivo La Coruña. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is part number 55, where we're going to be playing in the Champions League. And also, we're going to be playing in a cup final, the Copa del Rey final, to be precise. And if you're excited to see how we get on in today's video in both of those games, don't forget, leave a big like on the video for me. And don't forget to subscribe as well. Completely free to do so. You'll put a big smile on this face right here. What's not to love? So, disclaimer, if you haven't been to the channel before, first of all, welcome. I've also got a tuft of hair sticking up there, which is a bit random. First of all, welcome. Hope you have a lovely time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sit back, relax, have some fun. And if you want to go back and watch the rest of the series, playlist up there. What I would recommend you do is watch the last video because, wow, is all I'll say. Wow, it was a doozy. It was a doozy. So, we got from the furthest we've got in the Champions League so far in the game to the next stage that we hadn't reached at this point. We're through to the quarter-final, and the team we got drawn against is Newcastle, which I think we did look at the end of the last video. So, in today's video, the first task is, can we get to the semi-final of the Champions League for the first time? We've got to the quarter-final for the first time. As the manager, I think, I don't know how Deportivo have done it in the past, but for the first time, we have managed to get to the quarter-final. We're in the second leg. It's a 2-1 deficit we've got to overturn, but we are at home. So it is what it is. But then we've also got Valencia in the Copa del Rey final. We've won the Copa del Rey once already in this save. The team we beat in the final, Valencia. So that's going to be an interesting one. But let's have a little bit of a focus on the Newcastle game that we played already. So again, away from home, it was a tough one. We scored early on, but they did dominate us a little bit. You can see there. Possession-wise, we actually were better. Passing-wise, it was very close. They had a lot more chances than us, though. They were very, very good. And the goal we scored was an own goal as well. But they were good. They play a 4-2-2-2, which is a formation I've not come up against a lot in Football Manager. But you can see we made life difficult for them. They just were very, very wasteful. But this 4 here, that is a powerful 4 to have. It really, really is. So it's going to be a challenge, but we are at home in this game. So hopefully we can do the business. Now, we haven't played many games since you were last with us, which again was the nutsness that was these 2 games against Real Madrid. But we have won all but that Newcastle game. So we beat Osasuna, beat Mallorca, beat Villarreal, beat Valladolid. You can see the goals have been scored by various different players. Salvador's had a couple. Flajek scored. Chris Furic got 2 in the last game as well, which was good to see. Pretty much a fully rotated team for the Valladolid game. So we are as fresh as we can kind of be in terms of this game. Before we actually get to the game as well, we've officially qualified for the Champions League next season, which means we've got our transfer budget, which, to be fair, considering the financial situation at the club, I'm actually kind of impressed they've given us that much. It's not a lot, but we've not been getting big transfer budgets. Where we've spent money, it's money we've generated, but also we've spent money we don't have. So financially, the club is still in a little bit of a mess. So I'm still going to try and go down what we talked about before. We're going to try and push instalments away. We're not going to touch those. And if we sell players, I might try and get some instalments in as well, so we can try and regenerate some money a little bit. We're not going to get a lot with 16 million. It's just a fact. Unless we get some old players, we might be able to get a couple of old men in. We might even just bin the transfer budget off, whack it all into the wage budget, and have £16 to spend, and then just focus on loans, because that could get us a decent amount of loans in. Or, I mean, maybe we do a balance like that, so we've got a bit of money to play around with in terms of loan fees. I don't know. I don't quite know what the plan is going to be for the summer, because there isn't a lot of money to spend, but we have got some money, so that's something. And, of course, the other thing is in terms of players who may not necessarily be with us next season. Salvador's wanted by a host of big clubs: Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Tottenham, and RB Leipzig. Rebel is wanted by Arsenal. Danny Boedo is wanted by Lille. Veloso is wanted by United and Atleti. Furic is wanted, and of course, after the last episode, you know he's looking to leave. Nico Gonzalez wanted by Atletico Madrid. Controversial, considering he came to us from Real. And Adam Hlajek is wanted by Everton, Southampton, and now Liverpool, the biggest club that have looked at him as well. So that is a huge chunk of our players who are wanted, but all but 2 of them are actually substitutes. That actually means we can keep the core of this squad, even if we sold a lot of them. But look at the values we've got. Okay, ignore Santi Labello. I don't know why I've highlighted him, but let's say all of these players left. We're not going to get 41 million for Haddon Plage, but let's say we get 20 million for him. Let's say we manage to get around Nico Gonzalez's value. Let's say we get 40, so that's 60 million. Furic, we're probably only going to get about 10 million if I'm being completely honest. So that would be about 70 million in total. I'd rather not go with the Veloso, but if he went, I think we can get near his top value. So let's say we get 50. So that, what was that? That was 20. That was what? 20, 60, 70, 89. So 120 there. I don't really want to get rid of Boedo because he's homegrown, but let's say we get 20 million for him. That's 140. Rebel, let's say we get 35 to 40. Let's call it 40. We're getting like 200, 300 million if we then sell Salvador for 100 million. So there's a lot of player that we could buy for the money that all of those players combined would get. If we only sell a couple of them, that still gives us a lot of money to go out and reinvest. So I'm not against it, but I'd like to keep my best players here. I really would. Especially players like Veloso, Boedo, Salvador. I'd like to keep Nico. We've only just signed him as well. But we are in a position, I think, financially where we have to accept if offers come in, we need to consider them heavily. And even if it's some of these players as well, who we're not necessarily looking to sell at the moment. So like Joad Yepes has had a decent season. I'd happily let him go. He was not the player that we thought he was going to be, but he's done a decent job, but I think we need to move him on. And also, that means Adrian Rodriguez can get a bit more game time as well, because actually, he's been all right, but I think he needs a bit more game time. Anyway, that's for kind of the end of season, really, to worry about, but a little bit of an overview of where I'm thinking at with that. Now, this is the 11 that we're going to go for in the game against Newcastle. As far as I'm concerned, this is our strongest 11. Pretty much. Star rating wise, Martinez is not as good as Bowie, but Martinez has been more solid than Bowie all season. So I'm pretty happy with what we've got as a starting 11 here. I think the bench is strong as well. We know Bowie can come in and do a good job. Rebel can as well. Rodriguez is about as good as Yepes. They're about equal at the moment. Maria is our best attacking midfielder, but Furic can do it off the bench. He can also do it from the start as well. Gonzalez is a good defensive option, but we know Litzkas has got a bit of magic in him. Veloso is better than Navarro and Boedo, but both of those guys can come on if needed. And Hlajek can be an ample substitute for both of these guys, and he can do a decent job. And Labello is Labello. This is going to be a tough one, but it is what it is. We have got further in this competition than I've just realised I've made a mistake. Okay, I'll correct it in a minute. We have got further in this competition in this save this season than we ever have. And we did it the hard way against Real Madrid. So I am not going to be upset if we get knocked out here. I'll be a little bit aggrieved that it's Newcastle. No offence, Newcastle fans. However, in this universe, Newcastle have developed into quite a handy team. I am just changing this. At the moment, we're distributing to our centre-backs. I don't think that's the right thing to do with the amount of central players that they've got. And again, all of my instructions have disappeared. This is a bug that really annoys me because I set all of this up and then it's just disappeared. They've got so many central players. They are obviously going to drift out wide as well. So we're going to try and get it to distribute it to our fullbacks. That feels like the right thing to do. We were pressing both of their centre-backs and their goalkeeper just to hopefully force a mistake. And then I think... I mean, these guys were apparently being tight marks. We're not going to tight mark anyone. Let me just get these set up again. There we go. Yeah, we're going to go out to the wing-backs or the full-backs in our case. And we're just going to see whether we can get something going with them. But here we go. Quarter-final, second leg. Chance to get through to our first Champions League semi-final. We're in our first quarter-final. So a loss here doesn't ruin anything. It would be nice to get a victory before the cup final, but it is what it is. But Newcastle, again, the last time we looked at Newcastle, they were doing very well in the Premier League. I'm not going to go off this game to have a look at them. But the last time we looked, I do believe that they were in the top 5, challenging for the top 4. They were looking really good. Right, we have an early corner here. Yepes whipping it in, looking for the head of Chadi Riyad. And there is Joe Herculano. The wonder kid turned into superstar defender, and he's made it 1-0. And we have tied the game up in the 4th minute. It's a scrappy corner. Riyad, Veloso, they're all involved with it. Riyad gets the assist, centre-back to centre-back, and it's 1-0. And all of a sudden, we have a chance to go through to the semi-final. I can't remember. The semi-final has been drawn. I can't remember who it would be that we'd go against. We'll find out if we get through. Right, another highlight. Ilic to Salvador. Salvador goes back to Chadi Riyad. Riyad to Yepes. Yepes into Salvador here. Salvador into Wahi. Elia Wahi, who's not been on a good run of form, and he's gone and made it 2-0. And all of a sudden, we've turned the tie around completely, and we are looking at a semi-final in the Champions League. Wow. Wow. Okay, Elia Wahi, he's been in and out of form since the injury he had that curtailed the start to the season he had. And he's just gone and done that. It's Salvador to Wahi. Everyone's on side. And we lead. We were already in the lead in this tie, but in the tie overall, we now lead. It's 2-0 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. And we now have a real chance at a Champions League semi-final. Right, Martinez goes back to goal scorer Herculano, into Litzkas in the middle. Back out wide to Arno Martinez. Martinez gets it into Wahi. Elia Wahi looking for space. Gets it into Maria. Can't quite get it through. And now here come Newcastle on the counter-attack. Alexander Isak overhits it. And Ilic is there to intercept. And we get possession back. And it's now with Litzkas, who gets it to Veloso. We're just going to go for it again here, aren't we? Maria goes out wide to Arno Martinez. Martinez giving us the width. Maria now inside. Looking for someone to get it to. Is he going to go alone? He goes alone. And it goes just past the far post. Glorious chance at 3-0 there. We do not take it, but we still lead, and we are having such a good start to this game. We just need to try and keep the momentum up. Newcastle now have a free kick, though. They have a chance to build, but they give the ball away from it. Martinez goes out wide to Wahi. Wahi now cutting inside. He's going to look for options. He's going to look for Salvador. He can't find him. Glorious opportunity again, but we do not take it. But fortunately, we already have 2 goals. I love goal line technology. I don't think that's necessary there. It was clearly a pass. Unless it wasn't. If that was an attempt at a shot, wasn't great. Good job, Elia Wahi's already scored. Otherwise, I'll be slating him there. Goodness me, what a start to the game this has been. What a first half so far. Right, Yepes now. Tell you what, Alexander Isak, the commitment there from him running back. Fair play to him. Right, Shadi Riyad goes back to Karnasetchi. Over to Yepes. Yepes into Herculano now. Herculano. I've been thinking about what to do next season. One of the things I am considering, depending on the personnel we can get in, and this obviously depends on if we can raise funds for it, have enough funds to kind of do what we want. If I can't find a decent defensive midfielder, well, he might be getting another hit. No, he doesn't. If I can't get a decent central defender, but I can get a decent defensive midfielder, that's absolutely fine. But if I can get a decent central defender and not a defensive midfielder, Herculano can do a job as a defensive midfielder. We might end up changing his position. Because we do like to play with a halfback or a ball-winning midfielder. He can do those positions as well as an anchor. I've never used an anchor before. I probably wouldn't want to use an anchor. But he's got enough that he could do a decent job as a halfback. He just gives us a bit more defensive stability. And I like having that player not necessarily be an attacking outlet. I like him just being a kind of meat and potatoes. Just get the ball, put it on someone a bit more creative. Maria doing the work there. Gets to Yepes. And here we go again. Ball over the top to Joe Veloso. The keeper's out. And it's 3-0 on the night. 4-2 on aggregate. We are destroying Newcastle in this second leg. In one of our final seasons at the Riazor, at the Riazor or the Riazor, I call it different things. I tried to merge both of them together, it didn't work. The Riazor is going to be rocking on this night. We're going to be leaving it soon and going to the Valoran Stadium. But we are giving it a famous European night here, and it is 3-0 on the night, and Newcastle have got so much work to do to get back into this game. So much work to do. They will step it up in the second half because they've not had a shot so far. Not a shot. Defensive masterclass so far from our boys. But we cannot take it for granted. We cannot take it for granted. I'm going to say that Maria needs to do better. I'm going to tell Ilic that he hasn't been bad. I'm really happy with Ilic at the moment because he doesn't like big games. He's out here in the biggest game and he's doing a good job. Fair play to him. We're changing nothing. We're changing absolutely nothing. But I'm going to have a look at them, see if they're changing anything. Right, they have made a change. Gertruida has gone out to right back. We're going to kind of lay off him a little bit. And they bring in DeBaston, who started in the last game. We're not going to press him, but let's see. Does he have a weak foot? Doesn't really have a weak foot, and he does like to pass. We're going to leave him because he'll be able to get out of trouble. So we'll leave him. We'll keep Gertruida on his weaker foot, though. And we'll leave everything else as it is at the moment. Right, second half. Let's go, boys. Come on. Come on. Let's go and let's get a fourth just to settle everything down. Because at the moment, we have a net 2-0 lead. We might be winning 3-0 on the night, but the lead we've got is a net 2-0 lead overall. So it is something that they can come back from. Right, Martinez with the throw-in in dangerous territory for us. Maria whipping it in, looking for the header. Salvador doesn't find him anywhere near. Illich now, ball into Johnny Salvador, and Johnny Salvador has a big goal, and that might be the tie. We may be, at this moment, safe and into the Champions League semi-final. We may have just crossed the threshold. Illich gets into the box again. Really impressed with his performance. He doesn't like big games, but he's turned up today. Gets an assist to Johnny, and Johnny makes it 4. Goal and an assist for Johnny Salvador, and now we can start to think about the cup final, which is nuts to say, but it is the next game, so we do need to start thinking about it. Right, Johnny's coming off for Hlajek. Simple as that. Veloso's coming off for... I'm going to bring Danny... No, I'm not going to bring Danny Breda on. He doesn't like big match. Pardon, but there, goodness me. Doesn't like big matches. We're going to bring Navarro on. He needs a bit of game time. And I'm going to bring on... I'm going to bring on Furic. Why not? Why not? Maria hasn't had the best of games. Let's bring Chris Furic on. Change a few attacking players, and then we'll have a look at the defence in the next batch of substitutions. We have a 3-goal lead. It's not done, but it's unlikely that they're going to come back completely from that. Right, Furic with the corner, it didn't do anything. Litzkas going for a worldie here. If he'd have put that top bins, I might have walked out just out of sheer delight. We have destroyed them in this game. Right, it's another free kick. I think it's going to be Furic again to take. Chris Furic, who turned up in the last game big star when we rotated. I'd love him to get a goal here. Oh, just over the bar. Hits the top of the net. We've absolutely ripped them apart today, and it's a glorious thing to see. Right, Martinez is injured. That is going to be one of the final changes. I'm thinking him and Herculano are going to be the changes. Right, Bruno goes up wide to Gertruida. Gertruida ended up being the hero for Newcastle in the last game. He scored their winning goal. Ball out to Illich now. He's gone to right back. He's had a shocking game at centre-back. Illich in, looking for Hlajek, can't find him. Hlajek, I thought, might intercept there. And Newcastle do have the ball. Xerxes goes to Haraldson, and we might get a Newcastle attack here. Right, ball out to Pedro. Pedro, tackled by Furic. Lovely stuff, but it doesn't really end up doing anything because Botman is now going down their left-hand side. He's going to try and cross it in. He does. Gyökeres is there, but Xerxes puts it wide. Right, Arnaud Martinez is coming off. We're going to take him off for Bowie. We're going to give Bowie the rest of the game, and then we'll make the final substitution. I'm thinking Herculano. Just giving him a bit of a rest. Right, speaking of, Herculano goes that way to Bowie. Into Furic, into Navarro. Navarro now running forward. He's got players ahead of him. He passes it to Eliawahi, who's offside. It's offside. It's 100% offside. The flag's up as well. It is 100% offside. We're not getting excited. Doesn't matter, but we're not going to get excited on that one. It is obviously offside. There it is. There's the flag. And they made another change. Freddie Paxton for Pedro Goncalves. Well, that attacking lineup looks terrifying, but it really hasn't done a lot today. We're taking Herculano off. Ribelli's going to come on. That feels like the right final change to make. And then the only other thing I am going to do is I'm going to change Hlajek from a complete forward to an advanced forward. And we'll carry on. And we'll just see the game out. 3 goals in 10 in-game minutes. We're through to the Champions League semi-final. We did it the hard way last time with Real Madrid. We've done another comeback here, which is glorious. I mean, the comeback was in the Copa del Rey last time. It was a draw in the last 16 against Real Madrid. Right, Newcastle have a chance here, and they might have an opportunity to get the ball in the back of the net. And they do actually get a goal back, but it's too little too late. Joshua Xerxes gets the goal. I've said his name completely wrong there. Joshua Xerxes. I don't know, did I say it right? Oh, who knows? Who cares at this point? We're through. That's the main thing. I don't even care that we've conceded a goal. Newcastle's attack is good enough to score, to be fair. And a little bit of complacency in the 91st or 2nd minute or whatever it is does not matter, because we have seen ourselves through to a Champions League semi-final for the first time in this save, and I could not be happier about it. Get in there, boys. That is how it is done. Second leg comeback, utter domination, 4-1 on the night, 5-3 overall. The ultimate comeback. Man United squeezed through just about against Leipzig. And that means we now have a semi-final against Manchester United, who we have played already, and we didn't lose against them. We drew against them. But that is going to be the next Champions League game that we have. They're 4th in the Premier League. Let's have a quick check of the Premier League. So Newcastle actually dropped down, so they've been in on a poor run of form. So we played them at the right moment. But Manchester United, miles off the pace. This is a poor Premier League season. They're only on 55 points in 4th. Look at the gap. Arsenal already champions with so many games left. Man City and Spurs are the nearest teams. They're so far off the pace. It's not even funny. It's good to see Villa still in around there, though. But, my God, this is not a very good Premier League season at all, from the looks of it. Christ alive. Right, well, that's going to be the next game. Another English team. We have to be careful about Salvador, who did do a very good job in the last game. We did get a bit of money, I saw, as well, but we have paid a couple of bonuses out as well, because we've got to the semi-final. Herculano is out of the next game. He's out of the next game. The away leg against Manchester United. I think it's away first from the way that it was formatted. It is away first. The way round that we prefer it, mind you. But he will be missing the away leg at Old Trafford. But he will be back at the Riazza on the 8th. So that is something at the very least. I mean, obviously we know what the next video is going to be. Goodness me. Right, well, that's something to bear in mind. Again, we did get a little bit of money in. It wasn't a lot of money. It was about £9 million. Now, how is the injury to Martinez? I mean, Bowie's a great replacement, but that's a gutter because he's been really good for us ever since we signed him, really. Do we give him an injection for the cup final just so we've got him as an option? I'm going to ask him to. If he doesn't want to, it's fine. If he doesn't want to, it's absolutely fine, but I want to see whether he'll do it. Right, well, we've got 3 days until the Copa del Rey final now. Things are going too well at the moment. I feel like that might be the one that gets away. But I guess we're going to find out. Okay, it's cup final o'clock. We're here and we're ready for the Copa del Rey Cup final against Valencia. Again, just as a reminder, how have we done in this competition in the past? We've won it. Who did we beat when we won it? Valencia. Oh, God. So, we're putting a bit of a rod on our own backs by pointing that out. But I have faith in this team. I really do. And this is the team we're going to be using. By the way, one of the highlights, I am wearing a tie. It is a cup final after all. I'm not a monster. The 11 is going to be Carnesecchi in goal, Bowie, Herculano, Ribel and Ilic in defence, Rodriguez, Maria, Litzkas and Veloso in the middle, with Wahi and Salvador as the 2 strikers. We are missing Martinez, but he can play due to injection. I'm not going to start him, but he's there if we need him. And Shadi Riyad is out due to suspension, so Ribel is the man who's getting the nod alongside Herculano. Do it, shall we? They're playing a 4-4-2, and historically in this save, 4-4-2s have been a bit of a problem for us. I think we've got enough in us, though, to kind of negate that and just get past them. So we'll just see what happens. I do just want to double check one tactical tweak, and that is that we want to be going to our centre-backs to our wing-backs. And I just want to double check that this has saved. Yes, it has. A lot of instructions on there, but hopefully they will prevail. Right. Deportivo La Coruña versus Valencia, Copa del Rey final. These are 2 big back-to-back episodes we've had. Last episode to get to this point and to get to the quarter-final of the Champions League. And today's video to get past the quarter-final of the Champions League and actually play this final. These are 2 huge episodes, so hopefully we can end this one with a trophy. Our second trophy of the season. Remember, we didn't show it on camera, but we did win the Super Coppa. Because we don't care about that necessarily. We should care about it because it's trophy, so... But it is what it is. Right, we've started the game and, well... May the gods be in our favour. I'll be gutted if we get to this final and lose because we have lost the cup final before. It was against Real Madrid. But we beat them this season, so maybe that demon is fully exercised and maybe that means we can get a victory. Right. Ribella's taken a knock. Of bloody course he has. I mean, I'm going to keep him on for now. I'm going to ignore it for the time being. And if we can get a goal early on, we will maybe make the change. And there is Bojan Ilic, the man who doesn't like big matches. He's gone and scored in a cup final. It's 1-0 in the 19th minute. We lead in the Copa del Rey final. I don't know which stadium it's at. I want to double check. But we go in the lead. Bojan Ilic comes into the box here, just hits it low, near post. Mamardashvili probably shouldn't be beaten there, but beaten he is, and 1-0 it is. Right, I am going to make the change. I'm nervous about Rebel potentially making a bit of a clanger. The problem is, it's Sepp van den Berg who's coming on, who hasn't played a lot of football for us. So, I'm going to say that one. It's his 150th appearance. Let's see if it can be a really important one for us. He's coming on. Let's see whether he can make a difference. Right. Another highlight, Bowie to Maria. Maria now, looking to make things happen. Goes back to Herculano, forward to Bowie. Bowie can't quite keep the ball, and Fontan now with the ball. Gets it down the line to Jose. Jose running forward, gets it to Hugo Daro, and now the defence is immediately being tested. The ball is in, and there is Jorgen Strand Larsen with an equaliser. Not a good advert for the defence that we've ended up having to use with Van den Berg in today. I feel like I did see him drift over a little bit. I don't know whether it was him. That's Van den Berg there. Just watch his movement here. He does come across. He does actually completely leave him open. Van den Berg's movement led to that goal being scored. I'm adamant of that, and that is a problem if we're going to get more of that. So I'm going to demand a bit more from the... In fact, no, I'm going to encourage the boys. It's only 1-1. It's not the end of the world. But I need to see a little bit more from us, if I'm being honest. And now the highlights have turned completely. There's a foul there. It's going to be a red card. Oh, this has gone from bad to worse. Injury early on. And a red card to Maria. Yikes. What do we do? Oh, my word. What on earth do we do? So we can either take a midfielder or a striker off. They're the two options that we've got here. I don't know which one the right one is, if I'm being honest. I mean, we could go to defensive midfielders and just have them pressing a little bit higher. So maybe we change... Rodriguez has gone to half-back now, but let's say we change him to a ball winner on support. Litzkas to deep line playmaker on support. So they get a bit further forward. They help out Veloso, maybe. We have maybe just a supporting midfield. Maybe we do that. Maybe that's the thing to do. Gives us a bit of help with Van den Berg as well, because Van den Berg needs it. Maybe we do that. And then we just hope we can get the ball to these guys. They can get forward. They can get the ball to below. So these guys are supporting, and then we can try and do our job. I think we maybe do that. We keep everything else as it is at the moment, and we just see whether we can... I don't know. We can just try and cling on and then get a punchy winner, hopefully. But the first thing is we need to keep ourselves at 1-1 at a minimum. Right, ball's whipped in. Teze's there. It's just over. Very, very lucky there. Van den Berg has been... I mean, I've not seen much of him, but his involvement in the goal makes him an absolute liability. Right, I'm going to pump the fists. I'm going to say that one. It hasn't really done anything. Right, let's go around and motivate. I'm so disappointed at Maria because he's been such a good player for us, and he goes and does something stupid like that. Right, we'll tell them they need to kind of book their ideas up. I'm going to thrash my arms at you. I don't care whether you're going to be upset at that, really. I really don't. I'm going to tell Carnesecchi I'm not happy. I'm going to tell Van den Berg I'm not happy with him. And that's motivated him. And there's not really much else I can do, really. I mean, these guys who are playing well, Litzkas, Ilic and Bowie, I'm going to tell them that they need to change the game. Right. Do we do anything else? Opposition. Let's have a look at them. Have they made any changes? No, they've not. Strikers are doing really well. Everyone else is a little bit not necessarily having the best of games. Johannesson is not doing that bad. But I think we stick with this shape. I'm tempted to take Rodriguez off and bring Gonzalez on. And maybe change him to a deep line playmaker as well. And just have the pair of them just pinging balls forward. We have the balls to these guys. Play down the middle. And these guys just make it happen for us, maybe. So we get the ball to these guys. They're playing down the middle, so they go to these guys. Maybe we go for underlaps as well. So maybe take middle off. Get the ball out to the wing backs. And then they just look for the runs in the middle. Yeah, we're going to do that. Do you know what? One other thing we're going to do. Let's try and get in behind them, because they're currently pushing us quite back. Let's try and play on that. Let's fire the boys up. Let's just see whether we can get something going here. We're a man down. We lost one of our best centre-backs due to injury, who was already a replacement anyway. Match momentum's picking up a bit for us. Right, it's a free kick from them, but if we can counter-attack this, it'll be fine. It's Johannesson to take. Johannesson's such a good player. Karnasechi does the work. Karnasechi does the work. Right, we're going to have to tell Herculano to calm himself a little bit. I tell Wahi that he needs to do better. I tell Nico that I want more from him. Cleared out. Right, Salvador managed to clear it only as far as Hugo Duro, but it's going to go out for a throw-in. Again, all the highlights are at this end of the pitch, which is not good. Right, we have a highlight for us. Bowie. Gets it to Nico. Nico, Bowie. Looking for Litzkas. Can't find him. Oh my word. Is it a penalty? Is it a penalty? Oh my god. Free kick. Okay, fine. Free kick. That's fine. I don't think Salvador's going to be bending it in from there. He's not going to be taking it, I don't think. That's probably going to be Veloso. It is Veloso, yeah. Right. Veloso's going to whip this in. Looks for Herculano. Headed down. Nico was there. He just couldn't quite get onto it. Right, Litzkas now with the ball. Bowie. Oh, that's going to end. Yeah, there we go. Knew it was going to end. Right. Substitute o'clock. We've stayed in this game remarkably well. Eliawahi's not had the best of times. We're trying to pump the ball forward. So let's get the ball to Hlajek, I think. And I'm tempted maybe to drop a striker down and go with this. And have him be a shadow striker, which has worked for us before. Salvador in the middle. Have Veloso attacking. These two pushing forward. These two pushing even further forward. These two just whipping balls in. Trying to get on these two's heads and also to this guy who's also decent in the air. Gonzalez hasn't been the best. Veloso hasn't been the best. I'm thinking maybe do we try and find a way to bring Furic into the team? Maybe for Veloso, because he can do the job there. He's not particularly great at it, but he can do the job there. And he can also drift out a little bit wide if needed as well. And give us a bit of width. I might do that. I might swap these two rounds. Have Hlajek shadow strike from here. Have you attacking mid from here. Change you from run wide with the ball and give it to you instead. And we'll go for far post because that's probably where we're going to find Hlajek going. Right. We go with that. That is 4 of the 5 changes. We've still got 1 left in our back pocket. I don't really know what we do to change things, but let's just go with that. Slight tweak. Right, corner. Furic to take. Herculano. Oh my word. We're having another check for a penalty. It's a second check for a penalty. We got it. And it's going to be probably Chris Furic to take. It's either him or Salvador. I think it's Furic. It is Chris Furic to take. And we lead in the cup final. We're down to 10 men. In what is likely to be his final season, Chris Furic might have just scored the winner. Chris Furic might be putting us through to another trophy. Another Copa del Rey. I've said during the save, the Copa del Rey has been our competition. Oh, Johannesson with a corner. Whips it in. Furic does okay. It's an overhead kick from Mascara, of all things. But it goes over and it remains 2-1 to us. Right. What are they doing at the moment? Have they made change? They've just made the one change. It's this guy's come on. I mean, we'll put him onto his left foot. I think that's the fair thing to do. They've not made any other change. It's like they're waiting for extra time to make all of the changes. Right, do we make a change? Salvador hasn't done a lot today, but he hasn't had a bad game. That's the thing. He hasn't had a bad game. Litzkas is tiring. I mean, we've got Yepes who can come into defensive midfield. I'm just thinking maybe Hlajek hasn't... I mean, Hlajek's come on. Maybe we put him up front for Salvador. We take Salvador off. We bring on maybe Navarro. And I'm just thinking for the last few minutes, we bring these two back. Put these two onto defensive and just shut up shop, maybe. I'm going to put these two on defensive to begin with. And then as we get closer, we'll bring these two back. I'm going to change you back to attacking midfield. I'm going to put you on support, though. In fact, no, we'll put you on attack. We'll have you still applying pressure. These guys can keep applying pressure. We'll do that for now. Navarro can come on just to help out. I could have brought Boedo on, but Boedo can't play in centre mid. Navarro can. Right. Oh, we're not defending that very well. Can we get the ball and just get another goal here? A third would kill it off with the time we've got left, but they're coming forward here. Teze into the box. It's wide. It's going to be a corner, though. Corner to Valencia. 84th minute. Whipped in. No, they're going for a weird routine. Gone back out wide to Johannesson. It's offside. It's offside. Oh. The second I saw a weird routine, I thought, oh my God. Right, we've got a free kick here. Furic. Oh, we've gone for a weird routine as well. Hlajek nearly got in there. Adam Hlajek nearly doing the business. Right, ball forward. Ilic manages to get to Navarro. Navarro loses it though. Nico intercepts though, but he's bullied out of the ball. Again, we are missing that man. And now, here come Valencia again. Valencia floating it in. It's Diego Lopez who scores against us quite regularly and he hits the post. And Navarro now with the counter-attack, but he's got men around him. But I think he's won a free kick. He has won a free kick. Right. Last few minutes. No, highlight. Let the highlight play out and then we'll make changes. Tactic changes. We've already used all of our players. Navarro is through here. Hlajek gets him through. And it's tipped over. No, it's not tipped over. It's hit the bar or the roof of the net. Oh. Oh, I thought that was 3. Oh, I thought that was 3. Right. I'm going to do exactly what I mentioned before. We're going to bring these two back. Just to give us a little bit more in the middle. I'm still going to have them both get forward. Furic as Mazzala and Navarro as centre mid attack. But I just want to keep everything a bit more compact is what I'm thinking. Tactically, they're still on a 4-4-2. They've made the changes because they recognise they need to make them. Pablo Font has come on. I don't know who you are. Pop you on your left foot. Rafael Perez, who is not even fit, has come on. We'll leave him alone. And Sterigu has come on. His passing's okay. We're advised to probably not press him. Yeah, we'll leave him as he is. And Fontan's gone out wide. We'll leave Fontan alone now. Mosquera's had a great game, by the way. Right, we'll leave it at that. Fire the boys up for the final few minutes. We're just narrow. We're difficult to play against. Ten men. Injury to one of our defenders. We have to use the worst defender we've got in the squad. But it doesn't matter. Because we win the Copa del Rey for the second time in this save. Our early progress in it meant I called it our trophy. There was a reason for that. And the reason is that we were always destined to do well in it from that point. And there it is. Copa del Rey is ours for the second time in this save. And we did it the hard way this time. We beat Valencia again, but we did it the hard way. We made tactical changes. We didn't stray away from our system. We just made sure the shape worked. Cartwheel over there by someone in red boots. I don't know who that was. Don't really care either. The most important thing is we win the trophy. Ramon Maria has a lot to answer for getting himself sent off. And we hope that the injury to Rebel isn't that bad. But, I mean, Johnny Salvador didn't really do a lot. But Ilic getting the first goal really helped. Litzkas did a great job. And then, of all people, the guy who's leaving more than likely at the end of the season, Chris bloody Furic. I'm going to outstretch my arms and say I'm really, really proud of him. And you know what? I'm also going to say the same thing to Ilic as well. Did well out there. I could say it to a lot of them. I mean, Karnasecchi at the end as well. What a big boy save that was near the end. But Chris Furic, under pressure with that penalty. Makes it 2-1. Wins us. I mean, we have a double, but wins us an important trophy. We didn't end up needing Martinez. We're going to let him have time off to recover properly. We're not going to give him an injection again. Rebel is out for that period. Yeah, we'll just let him rest. We'll just let him rest. We've, of course, got Riyadh back now from his suspension. We get a bit of money. Maria's obviously banned. He'll be banned from Spanish Cup competition, so he'll be banned from the Copa del Rey and also the Super Cup. But there's something really cool. Spain Hall of Fame. We are 8th on the Spanish Hall of Fame. 4 domestic divisions. Okay, only one of those is the proper league. That's fine. 1 La Liga. We won La Liga 2. We've also technically won the Primera Federación and the RFEF Grupo 1. Both of those in the same year. Remember, there was the weird split, and then the 2 winners of the 2 leagues played each other to get the overall winner. So that's why there's 4. 2 domestic cups. I mean, 2 Copa del Reys and 2 Super Copas. I'm assuming it only counts the Copa del Reys. But there we are. And I think I'm the only Englishman on that list, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool, it has to be said. I don't know how that does me for English nationality. It doesn't really do me with anything. No. Why am I on... Wait. That's interesting. So these are my other saves. So 5 teams. Okay, this is really weird. That's from FM23. That's from my career save. That's really cool to see that I got 2nd on there. But I don't know why it's translated over to this one. That's really interesting that that's carried over. What a career I had, by the way. And then that was me at the start of this save. Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't expect that. Obviously, I'm nowhere near those 2. But I think the challenge we've done here is a lot more impressive than what we did with Aston Villa. My word. Well, we are a legend. I mean, we were already a legend. But let's go and have a look at it again. Because I do quite like seeing my name as a legend. Chris Furich is still only an icon. I mean, I would say he deserves to be over on this side. I really do think he does. Johnny Salvador, I think, can probably be an icon at this point as well. I mean, wow. Salvador wants a rest. He can have one. He's earned it. Poor old Johnny. He's earned it. Right, well, I've just seen how long this episode is. It's a ridiculous amount of time. But I don't care because we've gone and done another very good episode. Right, well... Normally, we'd go straight to the end of the season now, but we've got this little thing called the Champions League semi-final to deal with against Manchester United. So we are going to come back for that. I will come back against Real Sociedad as well, just as the game before. And then Valencia and Barcelona as the final 2 games of the season. As in, cup finalists who have just beaten Valencia and other team that's trying to chase the title, Barcelona. What could possibly go wrong with that? We'll come back for those games and we'll see how things shake out. So first of all, we'll get Champions League done and out of the way and we'll see what happens with that. And fingers crossed we can... I mean, if we can get through to the Champions League final, I mean... If we get through to the Champions League final, I won't just wear a tie, I'll wear the suit. That's what you're going to get from me. If that happens, I don't know what I'll do. Well, let's find out, shall we? Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, then good. Don't forget to leave a like on there for me and hit the subscribe button as well because of the madness that we've just seen probably deserves it. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome and I'll see you next time for the Champions League semi-final. Cheers.